Hello, 6th standard children. Happy to meet you. Meeting you after a long gap, isn't it? Welcome back to video session. Today, video session number 9. Okay, and take page 79 in a textbook or the PDF that is given to you. Take page 79 where we are going to learn chapter 9, the living organisms, characteristics and adaptations. Living organisms, their characteristics and adaptations. What do we know? Living organisms are, as we know, plants and animals, is it not? And the things around us we classify as living and non-living, where living things have some good characters, living characters, whereas non-living things have certain characters, where living things move, non-living things do not move, living things breathe, living things grow, living things respire, all such that we are going to learn in this chapter. The same, no, living things do not, non-living things do not move, non-living things, no. Okay, so that living things, organisms and their characteristics. Characteristics na how they are going to live, how they are going to breathe, how they are going to adapt themselves. Adapt themselves na. So we are in Tirunelveli, isn't it? Where we have very hot climate. And then we have drizzling. Accordingly, we adapt ourselves. Isn't it? The same way, different places all over the world, otherwise in a globe, in the earth, we say different climatic conditions. That is what way we are going to adapt ourselves. Our characteristic features and adaptations. I hope you understand. So now in our book, the living organisms, characteristics and habitat method. Living chapter 9, living organisms, characteristics and habitat. Living organisms now, as I said now, living things as plants, animals, including microorganisms. Their characters, how they are going to live, and habitat. Habitat is a place where the organisms live. Okay, so I say we are living in a house, we are living in a land, we are living in terrestrial habitat. Fish live in water, so we say fish living in aquatic habitat. Like that, there are some plants living in water. Same way, animals are also living in water. Such a type organisms where they live. Otherwise, we say the dwelling place. The dwelling place is called habitat. Organism where they live or the dwelling place of organisms is called a habitat. Okay, so now here in this, as we know, there are two children, boy and a girl, Paili and Buju. They used to discuss anything and everything about the concerned chapter, is it not? And then wherever they come across with the doubt, they clarify with their teacher or with a guide or with a guide and a person who is accompanying them and with themselves. Okay, so here is a short paragraph that they have visited a place called Rishikesh, that is, it is given, they took a trip to river Ganga in Rishikesh. They climbed the mountains of the Himalayas where it was very cold. In the paragraph Paili and Bujo took a trip to River Ganga in Rishikesh. They climbed the mountains of the Himalayas where it was very cold. They saw many kinds of trees on these mountains. The name of the trees are oaks, pines and deodars. What are they? Oaks, pines and deodars. See the spelling? Oaks, pines and deodars. And they are different from one another. And they are very different from one near their home on the plains. We have neem tree, is it not? Surrounding our area, there are plenty of neem trees. But they are totally different from these trees. So there are differentiation. In yet another trip, they traveled to Rajasthan and moved on camels through hot desert. First, River Ganga. After the mountain, they climbed up the mountain. Third one, the hot desert. Understand the different places they are visiting. Okay. They collected different kinds of cactus plants from this place. From this trip. Hot deserts, the cactus plants are plenty. Cactus can adapt itself for survival of this hot desert. Survive in the hot desert. Okay. And finally, they went on a trip to Puri and visited the sea beach. It was the seashore they are visiting. Where they saw casuarina trees. Casuarina is a type of pine trees. Okay. While recollecting all the fun that they had on these trips, a thought struck them. All these places were so different from one another. They visited an aquatic place, seashore, hot desert and mountain area. Okay, all of them were different from one another. Some were cold, some were very hot and dry, and some places so humid. And yet all of them had many organisms, living organisms of various kinds. I hope you are able to follow. So they have visited different places and the climatic conditions are different. And the living organisms are adapting themselves to live in the climatic condition accordingly. Okay, now see the figure 9.1. Search for living organisms. What all you can say? There is a girl, goat, two goats are there, and there is a boy, and here a man is pulling the cart with the two bullock. Two bulls, bullock cart we are saying that those are living organisms. I hope you understand. So in the picture comes, I will ask for living and non-living organisms. Creative questions in the picture quoted, you should look for living organisms. Okay. The next one, they try to think of a place on the earth where there may not be any living creatures, but it is not possible. So Buddha thought of places near his home, inside the house. He tried the cupboard where any living organism will be present inside. Usually will not. But if you keep any books or anything, any non-living thing inside the cupboard for a long days, some spider or ants will come as a non-living organism. Like that, he could find a tiny spider in the cupboard. Outside the home too, there didn't seem to be any place he could think of that did not have living creatures. I hope you are able to follow this. So here, organisms and the surroundings where they live. And you should know. Another thought that occurred to Pali and Buju was about the kinds of living organisms that were present in different locations that they had visited. Right? Now underline, the deserts had camels. Underline these lines. The deserts had camels. Mountains had goats and yak. Puri had some other creatures, crabs on the beach. and such a variety of fish being caught by the fishermen at the sea. Now here we use the term fish. Fish, fishes. Fishna, the ஒரே variety of fishna, அதில் நிறைய fish இருக்கிறது fishes சொல்லுவோம். But different variety of fish இருக்கிறது fishes சொல்லக்கூடாது, fish தான் சொல்லணும். Okay. So here, such a variety of fish being caught by fishermen at the sea. Underline up to these sentences. Right? And then there seem to be creatures like ants that are present in all these different locations. The kinds of plants found in each region were so different from the plants of the other regions. Same way about the water surroundings also. Surrounding the water also there is a different. Okay. Now next activity 1. Let us start with the forest. Forest la enna solromnaaka what are all we could see in the forest as living and non-living things. Living things naka we find many different plants and animals, and the plants ku peru flora. Flora வந்து plants. Forest la flora வந்து plants. Fauna naka animals. Fauna வந்து animals சொல்லுவோம். Okay, so you should know these two set words: flora, plants; fauna, animals. Right? Then think of all the plants and animals and objects that can be found in a forest. Then you will fill up the column as the entire lesson. What are the plants and animals that are found in the forest, mountain, desert, sea, and in any other terrestrial habitat? You have to fill up here. I hope you understand. So here, list things, animals and plants found in other regions that are shown in table. You can collect examples scattered through this chapter and fill the table 9.1. Okay. And you can also discuss with your parents, teachers, and with your friends what all you are seeing in and around you, or you have heard about it in reading any library books as desert animal, forest organism, plants and animals. In the table you can fill them. Adala in the red paragraph. Activity 1. Okay. When I come to habitat and adaptation 9.2. What do you find from the plants and animals listed in activity 1 again? Say for example, in the forest we find different types of trees and herbal medicinal herbs will be present in the forest. And in the mountain we find oak, first person oak, pines and deodar. Oak, pines and deodar. Desert வந்து cactus. Desert plant வந்து cactus. அந்த மாதிரி நிறைய இது வந்து நம்ம as and when we come across, we will fill up the table. Okay. And in the sea, plants and animals are surrounded by saline water. Saline water na salty water. Marine water nam சொல்லுவோம். So saline water, salty water, marine water மூணுமே ஒண்ணுதான். Most of them use the air dissolved in water. There is very little water available in the desert. It is very hot in the daytime and very cold at night in the desert. ரெண்டு climatic conditionும் இருக்கும். Very hot during daytime and very cold during night time. இதுல desert environment. Okay. The animals and plants of the desert live on the desert soil and breathe air from the surroundings. The sea and the desert are very different surroundings, and we find very different kinds of plants and animals in this two regions. Is it not? Let us look to different kind of organisms from the desert and the sea. Desert example camel, and sea example a fish. Now our market adaptations of camel to live in a desert habitat? That's the question. Adaptation of camel. Adaptations, spelling possible. Adaptations of camel to live in a desert habitat. To live in a desert habitat. Adaptations of animal to live in a desert habitat. Okay, mark panna. Then first, camels have long legs which help to keep their bodies away from the heat of the sand. Camel picture இருக்கு பாருங்க. Camel நமக்கு பார்த்திருக்கோம்ல, ஒட்டகம் நீல கலர் இருக்கு இல்லையா? So camels have long legs which help to keep their bodies away from the heat of the sand. இது வந்து ஒரு adaptation. Adaptation அதாவது தன்னை எப்படி பாதுகாத்து சர்வை பண்றதுங்கிறது example. Okay. They excrete small amount of urine. Their dung is dry and they do not sweat. Camel excrete small amount of urine. Their dung is dry and they do not sweat. Since camels lose very little water from their bodies, they can live for many days without water. This is adaptations of camel to live in a desert habitat. These are short answers, right? Next, let us look at different kind of fish. Fish pare. There are different kinds of fish. Fishes, fish. Different kinds include fish. But one fish, vanjana main சொல்லுவாங்க. இந்த வஞ்சர மீன்ல ஒரு 10 இருந்ததுன்னா அப்போ வந்து fishes சொல்லலாம். இப்போ நிறைய வெரைட்டியா இருக்கிறதுனால இது வந்து fish. Okay. There are so many kinds of fish, but we see that they have something common about their shape. As fish will have streamlined body. Streamlined body. Fish will have streamlined body. Okay. Fish have streamlined shape. They நம்ம வந்து adaptive body movements ல படிச்சிருக்கோம். Movement of fish, streamlined body. They here also those adaptations are applicable, right? And the shapes help them to move inside water. Fish have slippery scales on their bodies. These scales protect the fish and also help in easy movement through water. And fish have flat fins and tails that help them to change direction and keep their body to balance in water. For keep their body balanced in water, they have fins. Gills present in the fish help them to use oxygen dissolved in water. Gills present in the fish help them to use oxygen dissolved in water for respiration. Gills are respiratory organ. So gills for respiration. Not particular. Gills are the respiration. I hope you understand. So this is the adaptations of fish to live in water. First நம்ம பார்த்தது adaptations of camel to live in a desert habitat, hot dry climate, whereas fishes they live in water. I hope you understand. Then we say that features of fish help to live inside water and features of camel help it to survive in a desert. இந்த ரெண்டையும் நீ பார்த்துக்கணும். Okay. Now we are taking only 2 examples. ஆனா எல்லா animals different habitats and different Adaptations. அதுதான் fifth letter. The presence of specific features or certain habits. இந்த line பாரு. The presence of specific features or certain habits which enable an organism to live naturally in a place is called adaptation. I repeat, the presence of specific features or certain habits which enable an organism to live naturally in a place is called adaptation. Mark it. What is adaptation? Adaptation of organisms differ depending on their place of dwelling. Dwelling na enna sollirukken? Place where they live in. That is why fish cannot live out of water and camel cannot live in a sea. Right? Then the place where organisms live is called habitat element. The place where organisms live is called habitat. The habitat means dwelling place. The habitat provides food, water, air, shelter and other needs to organism. What is the use of it? What does it provide? Habitat provides food, water, air, shelter and other needs to organisms. We'll continue. Okay, so several kinds of plants and animals live in the same habitat. I hope you are able to follow this. Oh, the plants and animals that live on land or to live in terrestrial habitat. Camel and desert habitat or hot and dry habitat. Fish live in water, so that aquatic habitat. Now plants and animals that live on land, they are terrestrial habitat. And this terrestrial habitat, there are again different kinds as forest, grassland, desert, coastal and mountain regions. Mark panikal. Examples of terrestrial habitats are forest, grassland, desert, coastal and mountain regions. Same way, plants and animals living on water, they are also called aquatic habitat. Animals that live in water are called aquatic habitat. Example, lake, river and oceans are some examples of habitat, where lakes and rivers are freshwater habitat, sea and ocean are marine water habitat. This you should know. I repeat, lakes and river freshwater habitat. Nalla thanni solluva, aathu thanni. Adha lakes and rivers freshwater habitat, ocean and sea marine water. Kadal thanni, uppu thanni solluva. There are large variation among terrestrial habitats like forest, grassland, desert, coastal and mountain region located in different parts of the land. And these terrestrial habitats, it has both living and non-living components. The things are called components. So they are called abiotic and biotic components. Living things present in the different habitats, they are called biotic components, and non-living thing as air, wind, water, weather, light, temperature, they are all called abiotic components. That we will continue now. Okay, we'll just continue. So we will continue. Habitat is a place where living organisms live. I said, is it not? Now this habitat, it is as two types, terrestrial habitat and aquatic habitat. Terrestrial habitat, animals, living organisms living on land. Whereas aquatic habitat, animals living in water. Water is aquatic habitat. So yeah. Now this terrestrial habitat, they are further classified into desert habitat, mountain habitat and grassland habitat. நம்ம புக்ல என்னெல்லாம் இருக்கு? Desert, terrestrial வந்து desert, mountain region, grassland. இல்லையா? என்னெல்லாம் desert habitatனா it will be very hot climate during daytime and very cold during night time. Mountain வந்து normally it will be very cold. And grassland it will have many airy open spacious ground as grassland and few plants and trees will be present. So they are grassland. And here also animals are present. So these terrestrial habitats they have both flora and fauna. Flora means they are plants. Fauna they are animals. Right? Now this aquatic habitat they are further classified into freshwater habitat and marine water habitat. Freshwater habitat na நல்ல தண்ணி சொல்லுங்க ஆத்து தண்ணி river lake. Running water na river and lake அதெல்லாம் running water. Standing water ponds and pools. Lake water to some extent. Ponds and pools they are standing water habitat. அதெல்லாம் lentic and lotic habitat னு சொல்லுவோம். Okay. Now this marine water it is sea water and ocean. நமக்கு difference தெரியுதா? sea க்கும் ocean க்கும் என்னது? ஒரு particular places of land cover பண்றது sea. When large surface area when it covers it is the ocean. So they are marine water habitat. So வந்து இந்த classification தெரிஞ்சிருக்கணும். Classify habitat na you should write as terrestrial, under that desert, mountain and grassland. Desert, mountain and grassland. Aquatic habitat, freshwater and marine water. Freshwater வந்து lentic and lotic as running and standing water. I hope you understand. Whereas marine வந்து sea and ocean. Are you clear? I hope you are following. The next one, the components as biotic and abiotic components. What do we know? Abiotic components na living organisms. Now these living organisms, when they are in aquatic form, they are called planktons. Organisms, biotic components, when they are in aquatic form, they are called planktons, where plants are called phytoplanktons and animals are called zooplanktons. I hope you are following. Plants are called phytoplanktons and animals are called zooplanktons. Okay. Whereas abiotic components, they are as wind, that is air, water, light, and temperature. These are needed for the abiotic components to live on air. Another air, water, light, and temperature. These four abiotic components are very much essential. That வந்து நம்ம புக்ல ஒரு ஆக்டிவிட்டி கொடுத்திருக்கோம். As we take some நம்ம ஃபர்ஸ்ட் சாப்டர்ல ஸ்ப்ரவுட்டிங் சன்னா படிச்சோம்ல அந்த மாதிரி we take some gram seeds. சரி அதுல வந்து கொஞ்சம் ஒரு 10 seeds வந்து dry seeds வெச்சுக்கோ. The remaining you soak it in water. I repeat, take some 10 grams of chana. In that, take about handful of gram as a dry seeds. The remaining you soak it in water. Okay, and that soaking, you do it for one night. After that, you take those soaked seeds and take 4 bowls. Take 4 bowls. Bowl enough. Yeah. Take 4 bowls. In one bowl, have some soaked seed with water. அப்படியே சோக் பண்ணி வச்சிரு. ஒரு handful of seed ஒரு பவுல்ல எடுத்து இந்த சீடை அப்படியே சோக் பண்ணிடு. இந்த செகண்ட் பவுல்ல அந்த சோக் சீடை பவுல்ல போட்டு சூரிய வெளிச்சம் வராப்புல வீட்டில் வை. வெளிச்சம் வராப்புல வீட்டில் ஜன்னலையோ பால்கனிலையோ keep it. And another one, you keep it in dark room where no light is available. In the third bowl. And fourth bowl, fridge kulla. And repeat. 10 grams of chana gram எடுத்துக்கோ. அதுல ஒரு பிடிய ட்ரையா வச்சுட்டு மீதிய தண்ணியில போட்டு ஊற போட்டு சோக் பண்ணு. நம்ம ஸ்ப்ரவுட்டிங் சனா பர்சன்ட் அந்த மாதிரி you soak it for few hours. After that, you take 4 bowls. The 4 bowls layum first with the water konja seed podu. Another one the seed media 3 bowl layum and soaked seed potu one sunny room la surya velicham padradha. Another one keep it in dark room. Another one keep it in fridge. Idu temperature hot நல்ல கோல்டா இல்லையா? அதில் எது உனக்கு growth காட்டுங்கிறத காட்டு ஸ்டார்ட். எது சனி ரூமில் உள்ளதும் it will grow. ஏன்னாக்க it gets all different types of climate. air இருக்கு, water already இருக்கு, light இருக்கு, normal temperature. I hope you understand. இதில் temperature தான் இருக்கு, மேடி ஒன்றும் இல்லை. இதில் லைட் இல்லை, மேடிலாம் கிடைக்கும். இதில் எல்லாமே கிடைக்கும். இந்த 4 factorsம் கிடைக்கும். I hope you understand. So these are the abiotic factors. Air, water, light and heat are important for the growth of the plants. I hope you understand. So this is activity. Sure. The next step, page 83. Page 83. Adaptation does not take place in a short time because abiotic factors of a region also change very slowly. Those organisms which cannot adapt to these changes will not survive, and only the adapted ones can survive. Organisms adapt to different abiotic factors in different ways. This results in a wide variety of organisms in different. I hope you are able to follow. Page 82, the box part. Page 82, box. There are some changes that can happen in an organism over a short period of time to help them adjust to some changes in their surroundings. For instance, if we live in plains, namala living in plains, and suddenly go to high mountain region, we may experience difficulty in breathing and doing physical exercise for some days. We need to breathe faster when we are on high mountain. After some days, our body adjusts to the changed condition on high mountain. Such small changes that take place in the body of a single organism over a short period to overcome small problems due to changes in the surroundings are called acclimatization. அதாவது நம்ம மவுண்டன் ரீஜன் போனால் அந்த சமயத்துக்கு we adapt themselves. That is called acclimatization. These changes are different from adaptations that take place over thousands of years. நம்ம adaptationனா நம்மளோட மாத்திக்க முடியாது. whereas acclimatization வந்து ஒரு இதுல இருந்து ஒரு ஜெனரேஷன்ல இருந்து இன்னொரு ஜெனரேஷனுக்கு போகும். So this acclimatization is very important. Brief answer, please. Okay. So next we will study about terrestrial habitat as those free, and then aquatic habitat. அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு adaptation நம்ம ஸ்லோவா படிப்போம். Okay. Then what are the characters of living things? Living things breed, living things reproduce, living things grow, living things excrete, living things respond to stimuli. That is called irritability. Irritability na நம்மளோட யாரையும் தொட்ட உடனே நம்ம ரியாக்ட் பண்றோம்ல, that is irritability. So living things respond to stimuli, whereas non-living things இதெல்லாம் பண்ணாது. That is the characteristics of living things. One example, we say river is running. Yeah? River is having running water, so it moves. Is it a living or non-living? River is a non-living because it is just showing the movement and it will not show any living characteristics. Same way clouds. Remember, sky like clouds move. So clouds move. Is it a living or non-living? It is a non-living thing because it will not show any other living characters. Right? இப்போ இந்த மொபைல் ஃபோனையோ ஏடிஎம் மிஷினையோ நம்ம டச் பண்ணோம்னா இட் ரெஸ்பான்ஸ் இது, பட் ஸ்டில் இட் இஸ் அ நான் லிவிங் திங் பிகாஸ் இட் இஸ் நாட் ஷோயிங் எனி அதர் லிவிங் கேரக்டர்ஸ். ஓகே, ஐ ஹோப் யூ ஆர் ஏபிள் டு ஃபாலோ திஸ். Yes sir. Right. So we will continue in the next session with the next adaptations of terrestrial habitat. Thank you.